Comic books are not doing good. Talked about this many times on the channel. I'm sure you're well aware of it, especially if you've been following me for a long time. Wanted to pull this article up to start the conversation out because it goes with the topic, 3 comic shops closed, 3 game stores open. So you've got game stores opening up, but no comic shops. And that's because a lot of people just aren't interested in new comics. They are very interested in the old comics. Those are still doing quite well. And comic shops that have a variety of back issues seem to be at least staying afloat. A lot of these shops need to add stuff to their shops. Figures, other collectibles, video games, Blu-rays. You got to diversify your stuff. You have to, because new comics just aren't selling. And that's because they've been chasing this audience that is never going to come in and fill the void. And if they don't do that, they gaslight people and attack fans and try to get people behind their stuff, like this Alen Scott comic, a Golden Age character that they've brought back for a miniseries, which I suspect probably has something to do with the fact that I'm sure copyright on Alen Scott, the Green Lantern, is probably about up. So, they're putting something out to try to validate the reason that they might need to keep it. I'm sure they don't want him going public domain. But they put out this new comic book not that long ago, Alen Scott, the Green Lantern, in his own 6-issue miniseries, where he gets blackmailed into sex with J. Edgar Hoover. Yes, you heard that right. That is the plot of the book. And the guy who's writing it came out and pretty much said, everyone's talking about this book, which nobody was. Nobody cared about it. No one cares about Alen Scott. Okay? Sorry. No one cares about him. That's your main problem. I don't care what story he's in. No one cares about Alen Scott. And I'm sure 2 people in my comments are like, well, I like him. That's fine if you like him. But the majority of people don't even have any idea who he is. He's not even a real Green Lantern. He's his own thing. He's a magic lantern. But they want to bring him back, and he's in this strange comic book that just doesn't appeal to a lot of people. This Tim Sheridan guy, who's not a good writer, I've read some of his stuff. It's mediocre at best, if even at that level. Some of it was just straight up trash. He came out, ranted that everyone's making fun of the book, which nobody was. No one was talking about it. Nobody cared about it. People don't really even talk about individual comics that much anymore. If anything, they do stuff where they talk about the industry as a whole, which I like to do still. But as far as roasting an individual comic, I don't really do that anymore because I just don't care about a lot of these books. I still read some books, but it's good books. I don't go and read bad books anymore. Just tired of it. There's so many of them, and it's just done because the industry refuses to change. So you let it go, and it is what it is. But he came out and went crazy. Started attacking people, begging people to buy his book to give Comicsgate a big L. He wanted to give Comicsgate a big L. Came up with this hashtag, I love Alen Scott, which barely anybody used. But he told people, buy all 4 covers. Buy it for friends. Buy. Well, after attacking people and calling them bigots, when nobody was even talking about the stupid book, the question is, would it sell? The answer is it didn't. It didn't make the top 50.
You serious?
Very serious. Let's take a look at the list. So there is a Green Lantern book on here. A Green Lantern 4 is at number 32. But I did control find several times. It kept telling me there's no Alen Scott comic on this list. How can that be? I thought this phantom audience that everyone was chasing was the legit savior of comics. They're going to save everything. You can't stop their buying power. They're for sure gonna come in. It's okay to chip away at the older audience that's always been consistent, can chip away at them, get rid of them, don't need them anymore. This new Phantom audience is going to come in and save everything. Oh, but they didn't. Unsurprisingly, Transformers number one. And you're saying to me, what? How can that be? Well, the answer is actually pretty good. Robert Kirkman isn't writing this issue, but he's overseeing it. He's writing Void Rivals here, which is a dumb name. And it's a good book, actually. But Image is doing this shared universe between G.I. Joe and Transformers. Void Rivals is the main book. Transformers, Cobra Commander, all of these other books they have planned really revolve around Void Rivals right now. And a lot of people have no idea. Like, I remember when that first came out, and my shop owner's like, yeah, you should check this out. It's Transformers and G.I. Joe, and it's actually really good. It's a good sci-fi book. I'm telling you, it's actually pretty solid. And, like, well, you know, okay, Void Rivals, I'll check it out, and I liked it a lot. But, like, you would have no idea that's attached to G.I. Joe and Transformers. And maybe that's the point, but I'm just saying. But you have a lot of X-Men and Spider-Man on here, as always. And, you know, like, here's Spider-Man 35, Batman, X-Men, this God's thing, Justice League, Godzilla, X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, She-Hulk, surprisingly, at number 11, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Batman, Venom, Hulk, Daredevil, Avengers, Birds of Prey, Predator, Wolverine, Batman. You notice a pattern here? It's all Batman, it's all Spider-Man, X-Men, Venom, Spider-Man-related characters, Batman-related characters. Like, no one's really reading anything else. You got a couple Avengers on there. Star Wars is on there. But no gay Green Lantern. He's not on here at all. Womp, womp, womp. Sorry about that, Tim Sheridan. You made a fool out of yourself for nothing. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about, which I thought was interesting, is something that DC Comics is doing. So they're making manga-sized paperback editions for $10. Evergreen stories and $10 paperback editions with smaller trim size. And here's the cover. This is a great story, by the way, if you've never read it, Batman Hush. One of the best Batman stories, in my opinion. Basically, these are going to be cheap manga-sized books, and I think that that's interesting. It's the right price. The problem is you can copy the format, but you can't copy the way it's done. Like, if I want to get into One Piece, I can grab Volume 1, and then I know to grab Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and so on, and so on, and so on. You have Batman the Court of Owls, and you have Batman Hush. Okay, these aren't related to each other at all. I mean, eventually, you know, they might mention Hush or something here, but Court of Owls comes after Hush. I believe it comes after Hush. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it comes after Hush. So, like, it's not quite the same, and that is something that is appealing about manga. You know where to start, and you know where you're finished, but I can't knock them for this. I think it's actually somewhat smart because now you can put these over in the manga section maybe, and they'll be nice and clean, and they're at a good price point. And they're actually good stories. So at least Batman, Court of Owls, and Hush are. Those are great. All-Star Superman is great. Watchmen, great. Joker, pretty good. Wonder Woman, Earth 1, didn't read that, though I hear it's good. That's what's going on. So that's kind of the latest. Gaslighting fans, calling them bigots, fails again. Trying to rally the people of Twitter to actually buy shit. Failed again. Didn't work. But keep chasing that audience. I'm sure one of these days they might buy something and not pirate it, Tim. It might happen. I'm sure a lot of them pirated your book, but they didn't buy it. So, yikes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my locals and Rumble, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.